Hello and welcome to the Xi'an Grand Prix. First time there's ever been an event on the World Snooker Tour in this part of the world. And the referee getting a warm welcome. Again, a great match we have tonight. Junhui, so long the standard bearer of Chinese snooker, against Alfie Burden. There is Alfie there. See his ranking 78, 47 years of age. Still a great competitor. One of 5 ranking events in China this season. We've already had the Shanghai Masters, which is won by Judd Trump. Tournaments to come include the Wuhan Open, International Championship, and the World Open. Ding, you see there, down at world ranking number 8, formerly world number 1. Just waiting to be introduced. Coming up to his 20th year as a professional, now aged 37. And of course, burst on the scene, winning the China Open back in 2005. Not surprisingly, a very warm welcome. For so long, he always felt like he had the weight of the nation's hopes on his shoulders. There's been some other good young players now who've tried to pick up the baton, but Ding's still the main player. Referee for match tonight is Zhang Tao. We've seen him match earlier with Ronnie O'Sullivan. Certainly at the start of the match was quite difficult, trying to contain the crowd's excitement. First time they've had a tournament here, and adds to the excitement having Ding playing. Very pleased to be joined today by Stephen Hallworth. And Stephen, there's always a great sense of anticipation when Ding is playing in China.
Yeah, it's some occasion, isn't it? You know, he really is a superstar out here. Ding Junhui, one of the flag bearers, if you like, for the sport in Asia. Done so much for the game, and it's hard to really sort of appreciate how big Ding is in China, and unless you've actually seen it in the flesh. You know, he is treated like royalty out here, and Alfie Burden, not only has he got his task cut out today, taking on one of the game's greats, but he's doing it in Ding's backyard. I suppose similar to playing Ronnie O'Sullivan at the Masters, if you like. Playing Ding here, it's like a bear's den.
Yeah, not the start he would have wanted. Bread and butter safety, you'd have to say, quite careless to going off. It's not so much that he's went off and given 4 points away. He's absolutely gifted Ding a lovely chance. Didn't play that as well as he would have liked. Should have made sure he was high on the blue, so potting the blue come down towards the reds. You'd still expect him to pot this straight red, but a little bit more difficult than they should have been.
6.
An early test of his cueing.
Yeah, beautifully struck. As you say, not really the sort of shot you want early on in a match, but struck it beautifully. A confidence booster. It's hard to really sort of appreciate or imagine, you know, how much pressure Ding maybe feels. I suppose he's probably got used to it over the years, but early on in his career, as we've mentioned, he became a superstar pretty early on, lifting the China Open in 2005. 110 million people tuned in to watch that game.
15.
That's just incredible statistics, isn't it?
Just the 110 million.
Just the 110, yeah.
To be fair, if he has ever felt he was carrying the nation's hopes on. You never got that sense off him. Credit to him. Always very humble, quiet guy. Again, we still hope that he will land a world title, which is probably the only thing really missing on his CV. Early on in his career, it looked inevitable. It was more of a question of how many world titles he would win. But so far, that hasn't materialised. Can be a little bit frustrated there. Just coming across to have a look at the putting angle. The stretch and bridging over. Just try and nurse the black into the pocket if he can. Again, another early test of his cueing.
Again, very nicely done. These are very good signs so far. Very early on in this opening frame for Ding Junhui. Knocked in a couple of really good balls so far in this little visit. There's not really many better players to watch when they're in stroke, is there? You know, his cue ball control is, well, impeccable at times. He really is, just makes the game look so simple.
38.
Commentated on a couple of his matches he played in the Shanghai Masters, one of the earlier rounds against Ali Carter. He was in front in that game, saw Ali Carter come back, made a beautiful visit in the final frame to win that game, and then the mouth-watering clash against O'Sullivan. Of course, we saw Ronnie book his place in the next round earlier on today with a 5-0 win himself.
Yeah, good safety shot there from Alfie. Was trying to obviously leave the white tight on the ball cushion, but his priority was to block the red closest to the yellow with the yellow. Wasn't the easiest of reds, but I think still would have been disappointed when he missed that red to the green pocket. Would have been ideal start to try and win that frame in one visit. For Alfie to win this match, you do feel he needs to not only start the match well, but also each frame. Doesn't want a situation like we've seen so far, where Ding gets the first chance. As I mentioned, Alfie, 47 now, very experienced. But still will take a little bit of time just to settle into the match, feel a little bit comfortable, kind of ignore the crowd and just, as quick as he can, just get engrossed in playing the game.
Well, forced Ding into a little tempter there to right middle pocket. He's missed it far jaw, which has presented this opportunity for Alfie. Just wants to try and steady himself for these first few shots. They're key. But the reds have become very nicely spread. It's not just the match itself in playing Ding, is it? It's the occasion. You know, Alfie will do a very good job of hiding how he's feeling for sure, as most snooker players do, but you can pretty much guarantee he'd have been very excited for this match and all the adrenaline would have been pumping. But if you follow Alfie on social media, you'd have seen just how relaxed he was trying to make himself earlier, sat by the pool, but he'd be fully focused for this match, make no mistake. He's a hungry competitor, isn't he?
Yeah, you feel he's going to have to be more or less at his best or very close to it. And that's the challenge can he play his very best snooker in this kind of arena? Because even if he starts well and has a bit of a lead, there's still going to be pressure to get over the line, bearing in mind the crowd's reactions won't be encouraging him. But all he could do is just, as I said, as quick as he can. Forget that. Just get busy playing the game. Just try and take it shot to shot. That's more than enough for him to be concentrating on. But it's certainly a very good opportunity.
11.
The kind of opportunity you feel he's going to have to maximise if he is going to win this match.
$18.
Oh, and you could see that one there. There was a bit of movement on that as he came through on delivery. The arm went,
18.
the body went with it. Didn't strike that one all too well. So a bit of a nervy one, that, for Alfie Burden.
One. Four. Five.
The last couple of seasons watching Ding play, as much as being good to watch him play, it's more interesting to really see where his technique is at. I felt the last couple of years it's got worse. Not quite a smooth delivery of the cue as it used to be. A little bit jerky. Certainly, if he needed power, playing deep screw shots, the timing that he used to have is not quite there. I think that's also just affected his confidence in his game in general.
Yeah, because a couple of seasons ago he sort of plummeted down the rankings, didn't he? Which was a massive surprise to everyone. We all know how good Ding is on his day. He's a top 8 player for sure. Similar to, I suppose, the season of Neil Robertson's last year. But these classy players, you know, they don't stay down for too long, do they? They soon get back to where they belong. It wasn't a terrible campaign for Ding last year. Okay, he didn't get his hands on any silverware, but twice a runner-up.
$21.
But as I mentioned, if there is any deficiencies in his game or technique, there's absolutely no deficiency in his cue ball control in amongst the balls.
27.
Immaculate to watch. Almost forensic, his cue ball control. Again, it's taken him a couple of visits, but he'll be pleased to get this first frame on the board. Up and running, plenty of table time. Alfie will be ruining that missed red with the rest. And as you said, Stephen, he cued quite
34.
badly as well, which won't help his confidence, particularly when he's more shots with the rest. But he has had a little bit of table time, well settled, and you feel like we're up and running now.
Four. Junhui 40. And the frame.
Yes, with that 40 break, that's enough for Ding Junhui to take a 1-0 lead. Alfie's time on the sunbeds earlier seemed to have paid off. Looking bronzed, relaxed.
Again, worth reiterating, this is a held over match. Ding's matches in China are often held over to play at the main arena. The event, of course, all the better for having him involved. So big ranking points up for grabs for both of these players. Really random amount as well, £5,350 to the winner of this game, which of course equates to 5,350 ranking points. Very nice safety shot from Alfie Burden. Clocked that the green was a big target there. Played it nicely.
Four. I miss. Alfie Burden. 7. 6.
Well, Ding just not quite able to judge the cue ball off the side cushion there. Possibly anticipated he would have had a little bit more slide off that cushion. And in catching the pink, he's left a tempter for Alfie Burden, albeit getting the cue ball out of this little congested area is going to be pretty tough. He's got all the tackle out as well. Well, the red's gone in, but the cue ball's heading close to that side cushion. Just about held up.
1. Five.
Always looked like he was going to go close enough to the blue. Again, probably lacking a little bit of confidence with the rest from the red he missed the previous frame.
Alfie Burden. 6.
Probably need a little bit of side, right hand side in that case, just to avoid the blue. Again, he'd be a little bit frustrated. Yeah, you can hear Alfie just saying good shot, which it was. Thin clip.
Yeah, very easy to hit that shot thick when the object ball is so close to the cushion. Just trying to find a thin edge. But this, another wonderful return from Alfie Burden. Choosing to swing the cue ball round there, purposefully trying to get that cue ball in behind the green.
He came down the table there just to see is there an area where he can leave the white, that he won't leave a red that's too easy.
Four. I miss. Alfie Burden. 4.
Went close. Yeah, you can see here Alfie putting it back there. So you feel with that shot he's played there, Ding, the shot is on. You just go a little bit further up the cushion. Should be able to nestle onto that red. Yeah, you can see him just lining his cue there, trying to look for the exact point on the cushion he wants to hit. Once you hit there, the shot will take care of itself.
Yeah, that's nicely done, actually. It's not as straightforward as you may think for Alfie there. Ding left no shot for Alfie to try and get back to balk. Little giggle over the thoughts of a re-rack. It might be a little bit of a stalemate here because, as I say, that shot Ding played to nestle on that red didn't leave an edge for Ding to get back to balk. Sorry, for Alfie to get back to balk. Oh, dear me. Answers on a postcard for that one.
That's an awful shot. Very careless.
I mean, what has he even played there? Is he trying to push the red beyond the red and have the black and red as a snookering ball? I've got no idea. He's proper twitched that one if he has.
Yeah, no, they obviously had a slight laugh and joke there. But to play a shot like so careless.
8.
Yeah, he certainly won't be laughing if Alfie Burden can do the damage here.
9.
Free shot to get into the cluster of reds now as well to push more into play. Pretty much a guarantee that he'll be on that red to right corner.
It didn't have to go into the pack too hard there. It just basically wanted to develop a few, loosen them. Again, when he pots this red to the right corner, you can see there a couple of reds at the bottom of the pack lined up for the same pocket.
17.
So if you just pot this black and get on the red nicely, then it's going to be...
4.
Yeah.
Alfie Burden, 17.
Yeah, fair play to Alfie.
7.
Called it straight away. Just as he was basically putting his cue down just to start his addressing, just clipped the top of it. And again, probably not as bad a mistake as Ding's, but still very careless. And you can see him there, he's trying to stay composed, but that was such a good opportunity, again, to give it away so carelessly.
Oh, a penny for Alfie's thoughts there in his seat. I can only dread to think what's going on in his mind there. What a chance he's just surrendered after what is possibly the worst shot I've ever seen Ding Junhui play, to be honest. And it's not cost him, thankfully, for Alfie. So a bit of a tense second frame, you feel. Right, just having a good look at these two reds. They are close to a plant to right middle. They're not dead set. He may can turn this over.
Yeah, I think he was just checking just to make sure that they're touching. If they're touching, he could probably play the reverse. But still risky. Yeah, I played it well. That will help him forget his previous error.
Yeah, very nice shot that from Alfie. Had to hit the opposite side of the red you would think would be the natural side to chuck the red in. Just reverses it if they're touching.
7.
Dealt with that nicely and he's back in prime position now and he'll be trying extra hard here not to make any more careless mistakes.
8.
He's got a healthy lead in this second frame. He'll want to get the job done here at this visit.
$15. 16.
Poor shot there from Alfie. Should have made sure he was high in the blue, so naturally going towards the reds. Again, looks like the blue's just about held up. So he's got this red with the rest.
71.
Quite similar to the one he missed in the last frame. The last one, not only did he miss it, but he cued it quite badly. Yeah, struck that well.
22.
Just had a look at the scoreboard there as he walked around.
29.
55 ahead.
Thirty.
Just enough angle on the blue here to be able to come down for the reds. Tried to play for an area there. Again, it was quite a big area.
35.
Again, Alfie just losing the white a little piece. Just needs this red though. Again, as usual, when the reds are very close together, tendency is to catch it too
35.
thick. And again, damage was really done in the previous shot. From where he was in the blue, should have been perfect, and the red should have been unmissable.
Horrible shots, them, aren't they? When the cue ball and object ball are so close, it looked so thin for Alfie to even try and attempt that red. And now we could be a couple of shots away from having a new favourite in this frame. He's got the one loose red you can see there available. He has a good angle on this black if he wishes to go into the pack. Doesn't have to. Choosing to play the loose red. There may be one red just far right of the pink after potting this that will pass to left middle. Choosing to play up for the blue as a bigger target to get into the pack, and, well, presumably didn't play for the blue there, otherwise why would he have held his hand up? Maybe he played for the pink and he's overrun it, but as it happens, he's landed absolutely plumb on this blue to just a little delicate cannon into this cluster.
Yeah, they split quite nicely. Just got away from that red far enough that he's able to pot it, but problem now is that red has gone close to the black. Black's not available, I don't think.
$15.
Of course, however, if he can't bring the black into play, or that red beside it, it's a guaranteed snooker, so you might well go 2 reds, 2 pinks, leave yourself in a position, stun the red up the table, guaranteed to be behind the black. Again, already early in the match, you feel this could be a crucial frame for Ding to win, particularly as chances Alfie has had. Well, again, we've seen Alfie miss a bad one with the rest, and that was every bit as bad there. Ding didn't have to do a lot with the cue ball. Just did deliver the cue well. I'll have to be quite relieved now to see that red disappear. Yeah, you'd expect Ding to stay in his chair.
Alfie Gordon, 1.
And he has it.
Frame.
As a result, Alfie Burden wins that frame, levels it at 1-all.
The third frame.
So 1 frame each, Ding Junhui to break. Not the best of breakoffs from Ding. You can just see Alfie coming across there just to get a visual on this red that he's going to cut back to the right corner. I think he can pot it and avoid the black. Maybe he was fearful of colliding with the black, that's why he missed it on the thin side. Always seems a more difficult shot if you're colliding with another ball.
Important frame, that last one, though, for Alfie Burden. Cliche, I know, but in an arena like this, it's very important to settle as quickly as possible, and hopefully Alfie now has done that. Been a pro since 1994, Alfie Burden. He's pretty much played everyone in the game. He's played all the greats. He's been there, done it, got the T-shirt. He knows what it's all about. But you can still never really replicate this sort of atmosphere until you're actually out there in the arena. So he's got to draw on all that experience of his.
One.
He actually fell off the tour a couple of seasons ago, didn't he? And sort of toyed or even announced his retirement briefly. Didn't last very long. I suppose it's occasions like this that sort of draw you back in as a player, isn't it? You can't really get this anywhere else. The buzz of being a snooker player out in the arena.
6.
Couldn't quite hang his cue up. And he's come back for more.
Certainly be feeling a lot more settled having that frame on the board. Again,
7.
he's got him first in this frame. Positive player, Alfie.
14.
A good single ball potter. $134
15.
centuries in his career, but I feel that the main weakness in this game over the years has been his cue ball control isn't quite as good as some of the top players. With his game, more than good enough to create opportunities,
20.
but in close, just as we've seen in the last frame, tendency just to lose the white.
21.
Just makes everything a little bit harder. Again, seems to have a nice angle here if you can power into the pack.
Just wasn't quite able to generate the spin required there. He was up pretty quick off the shot.
28.
Felt like he probably lost a little bit of momentum in doing so. Needed that cue ball to race out of the pack as well. Got into them nicely, but didn't get out of there. Well, you can see this red clearly passes the pink, but when you're right behind it, it can always seem a little bit tighter than it may look. And with the cue ball being so close, not only has he got to pot the red, he's got to get out of there as well.
Alfie Burden. 28.
Oh, it's going to be a tricky shot. There's a bit of pressure on it. He felt sure if he missed it, he was going to leave Ding a chance. Again, just didn't quite maximise that opportunity. Alfie, as you feel he has to do tonight if he's going to win this match.
One. Five. Six.
Nicely played there, just more or less perfect on the blue here. Gives himself options. He's just coming down to try and work out this puzzle. Maybe can he stun down, avoid the pink, disturb a couple of reds, try and be on others. You feel just one good cannon away from making it an excellent frame opportunity.
There's always a gap, isn't there, Fergal? You think you can't possibly not cannon into the reds there.
Yeah. Alfie's reaction said the same. Yeah, felt sure he'd have to clip something. That's all he needs, just to glance something. Certainly seems a lot more relaxed and at peace with himself the last few years. Ding playing.
11.
Quite a rare show of emotion even there. Having that little laugh and joke with Alfie.
It's quite refreshing to see as well, isn't it, the players enjoying themselves out there, because as you know, it can be a bit of a cauldron at times, very tense, a lot of pressure. You know, you can feel very stressed out there at the best of times, and to see the players just sort of letting off a bit of steam, almost just releasing that tension. Of course, both players hungry to get the win. They want to bury each other, but it's nice that it can be done in a very nice manner.
Once he's obviously an excellent player, Ding. Always very enjoyable to play. Always played in the right spirit. Very well respected player, Ding. You just know there's not going to be no drama, no antics. It's just going to be a good, proper game of snooker and let the best man win.
4. Junhui, 4.
Played it as a shot to nothing. Alfie was conscious of not colliding the reds. A little bit unfortunate to going off. And even more unfortunate that a red has come up into the middle pocket.
One.
Yeah, once you miss the red, you've got no control over where it's going to finish, and it just about held up for Ding to pop it into that left middle. Quite an acute angle, but he's nicely on this blue, and the reds now have become a little more open. Bar the two reds close to cushions, this is a pretty good chance. And even the red down the black rail, from what we've seen so far today, these new cloths, very slippy. Pockets are playing more generous because of that.
7.
That type of shot all of a sudden doesn't seem all that difficult. That black puts Ding 1 point in front, so he will need one of the two safe reds. If he takes 5 reds, 5 blacks here, it'll be 41 to the good with 43 remaining. Wants to try and stay on the black as long as he can, really. And that's a poor shot.
15.
Not very often we see a positional error from Ding. I suppose the only consolation really is that he's hit it that poorly that he's ended up okay on the blue to corner.
$20. 21.
Hard to see any potential problems with these 3 reds. He's beside.
$27.
He will need one of the last 2 reds, but the one on the black cushion, potting a dead weight, don't need a colour. You'd expect him to pot.
28. 34. 35.
Good example of Ding's cueing technique there. Keeps the cue very parallel.
42.
Always hits where he's addressed with the white.
.43.
Again, 30 head, perfect angle. Drop the black in, then just drop the red in. Alfie need a snooker. You've seen earlier in the Ronnie O'Sullivan match, they were quite generous.
50.
Certainly with the new cloth. It's hard to see him missing this.
51. .58. Junhui, 58.
Yeah, I've seen enough.
And the frame.
Ding Junhui regains his lead. He leads 2 frames to 1.
Frame 4. Hairpin Boden, break.
Alfie Burton breaking over in this 4th frame, the last one before the interval. Quite an important frame, you feel. More so for Alfie, really. Doesn't want to be 3-1 behind against Ding. We'll be encouraged, though. Alfie has had opportunities. Caught that a little bit thicker than he wanted. Yeah, didn't cue that well at all, Ding. There was no pause at the back. There's certain shots just causing him issues the last few years. His cue ball control in amongst them still brilliant, but it's those shots from distance are requiring a little bit extra that he's definitely struggling on.
It's almost like a little double hit, isn't it? That how he sort of delivers the cue, he sort of goes and then goes again. It's not very nice to watch, actually, because as a player you can almost feel that shot, can't you? And how tense and twitchy that can possibly feel. Why do you think that's crept in? Because he never used to sort of play that way, did he? He was always so very fluent and he just used to glide through the ball. But do you think it's pressure or?
I don't think so. My only thought is maybe because he's an object ball player, as in when he strikes the white, he's looking at the object ball. And the only way I can guess is that maybe he's become a little more conscious of aware of the cue ball, and as a result, if he's having an extra glance or two at that whilst he's playing, that has maybe affected his timing. I know if I had any sort of a looker at all or conscious slightly of the white ball really affected me, I had to be more or less obsessed with the object ball. That's the only thing I can put it down to. So obviously, he's played his whole career with an element of pressure. And again, even seeing him at venues when there's no pressure, those certain shots he's still vulnerable to. As you said, just A little bit stop-start. It should be one smooth delivery of the cue. Basically, you deliver the cue and the cue ball gets in the way. Has given Alfie this opportunity.
18.
And again, Alfie would be aware also of Ding not cueing beautifully. That'll give him a little bit of confidence.
19.
And just to sort of clarify what Fergal was saying there, for any sort of club players or beginners learning the game of snooker, what Fergal means by Ding being an object ball player is at the point of impact, when the tip strikes the cue ball, Ding's eyes are locked on the object
24.
ball. I myself am a cue ball player. There's a few others as well. It's just purely preference. There's no right or wrong way to
25.
play, but when you've played the same way for so long and it becomes natural, if you start to change that, it can be very difficult, can't it?
Again, not knowing, that's just guessing, because I know myself, if I became conscious of the cue ball, that would affect my timing.
30.
Again, as far as I know, it doesn't work with a coach either. So I don't know where this problem's really come from.
Either way, Alfie Burden will be more than happy to see mistakes coming thick and fast from Ding Junhui. He's opened these reds up nicely, played an aggressive shot there, blew into the pack. It finished pretty nice. Recovered the situation with a good red, and he's back perfect.
31.
Possible chance to level things up at the interval.
Little bit fortunate there. But again, if you can just kind of
36.
keep good close control of the cue ball, get this frame on the board, he'd be delighted to be at the interval 2-all. Again, when they come back out of the interval, those initial nerves or apprehension,
37.
they'll be gone from Alfie. So be clearly focused and thinking about winning the match then. Initially the start of a match on this big occasion. Just trying to settle, play your way in. But he'll be growing in confidence with his own game. Certainly gaining confidence from Ding's errors. Poor positions out there from Alfie. Yeah, see how frustrated he is with it. Still can recover, but by no means ideal. Again, if he was perfect on the blue, he'd have already pot the blue and be perfect on the next red. It's just those small little attention details that Alfie has struggled with a little piece. Plenty of talent, good all-round game, more than competitive in all departments, but just that cue ball could just run a little bit
46.
loose.
Forty-seven.
But he's played a lovely shot there, good pot, and got perfect on the blue.
Yeah, really well controlled, that previous red from Alfie Burden. If you'd
52.
have picked the white up off the table and said to him, put it wherever you want, he'd have put it exactly where it finished up on that blue.
53.
Yeah, bags of talent, Alfie. Plenty of ability. He can play any shot he wants. But just sometimes just those unforced errors that have tripped him up.
59.
And he's taken these well. He'll be feeling very good now. Well settled into the match.
64. Alfie Burden. 64.
Yeah, Ding only 64 behind, 59 the table. Worth coming back. Alfie be a little bit frustrated. If he pots that red, even if he missed, frame be done, maybe at the interval.
that'll be more of an annoyance than anything for Alfie, won't it? Because, as you say, we should already be at the interval now, and he's got to endure possibly a lengthy safety exchange here as Ding tries to redevelop balls off the cushion and try and claw his way back into this frame.
It's amazing how with players, when they need one more red for their opponent to acquire snooker, they can miss it through the pressure. And then when they pass that line, then they can miss a simple red by switching off. Yeah.
One.
That red should put the seal on it. It's an important match for Alfie, obviously not just in the context of playing Ding in China, but also his ranking needs some work. Had two qualifying matches earlier on in Leicester, managed to win one and lost the other. Obviously a win today would give him great confidence as well as much needed money and points.
9. 10.
Frame well won, but still a lovely shot.
15.
Bottom left-hand side to get onto the red.
Every more than 15 on the frame.
And with that little contribution there, Alfie Burden has levelled it at 2-all at the interval. Referee just getting the crowd to settle down as they come back after the interval.
Frame 5.
Ding Junhui to break. Both players obviously well settled. Now we come down to the business end of the match. And you feel as the match goes on, the greater the chances are that Alfie will win. Felt it was important that he made a good start. See, 2-all is more than competitive.
Yeah, if he'd have offered Alfie Burden 2 each at the interval against Ding in his own back garden, he'd have snapped your hand off for sure. So plenty to work on now. He's not quite hit the heights he may like, but, you know, still plenty of chance and time to play his way into this game. And as you say, Fergal, this is now getting closer to the business end. Now would be the perfect time to find another gear.
The first round of any tournament, particularly I think in China, when you've had all that travel, somehow just get a win. You can always improve tomorrow in your next round. You can't improve on the flight home. That can add its little bit of pressure as well if you've travelled. It's a long way to come to lose. He's left Ding this red into the middle though. Will require some good cueing to get up for the blue. He was obviously fearful of maybe going and off. That's why he played it at such a pace that didn't reach that far, but still has a nice enough angle on the blue to be able to come in and out of bulk.
Six. Ding Junhui 6. One. Alfie Burden. 1.
No great benefit getting the snooker there for Alfie. I think the thing's just going to roll off the side cushion. Nestle into the pack. I'd be very surprised if Alfie's able to pot a red after this shot.
Just looking at Ding's record in China as well in ranking events, he actually currently sits at second place in terms of all-time ranking tournaments won in China, behind Mark Selby and Judd Trump. So he's, you know, considering how big of a star he is over here, that information would tell you that he often can produce his best snooker. Under the most pressure, of course, the Xi'an Grand Prix, brand new ranking tournament on the World Snooker Tour calendar. Busy period coming up for all the players as well, an event in Saudi coming up. You know, it's a great time to be a snooker player. And as you say, Fergal, these first round matches can be a killer, can't they? You want to get this one under your belt, feel like you're involved in the tournament. This, of course, the brand new event. You want to be involved and a part of the event, don't you?
Yeah, you're never totally settled in any tournament or any environment until you get that first win. The difference just even one win can make to your whole mentality and emotional state. Again, particularly for Alfie here, as I said, having that travel, anticipation, being out here a few days. Yes, they would have the press conference and red carpet treatment. Just anxious to play and just awful disappointing if you just come all this way for one match and go home. And as I mentioned earlier on the match, also a big match for Alfie with regard to points and money. If he doesn't have a better season than he did last year, he'll be off the tour and faced with going to Q school again. That adds a lot of pressure. So be keen as possible to try and get a good start to the season and try and think positive and think about getting up the rankings rather than thinking about just trying to stay on tour and salvage his tour card.
I miss Alfie Bowden 4.
There's that shot again where the object ball is so close to the cushion, just trying to find a thin edge. I suppose you'd rather miss it than catch it too thick and stick your opponent in, but the cue ball finding the corner pocket did present that red available for Alfie Burden, and he's knocked it in very confidently.
1.
He played it beautifully, actually had a trace of right-hand side there. So when it come off the cushion, that side just took it away from the pack. Could have easily glanced those reds. Again, just another sign of his growing confidence. Getting greater belief. Obviously, said earlier, any win will do. First round, particularly here in China. But to beat Ding would give him an awful lot of confidence.
By no means a good scoring opportunity just yet for Alfie Burden. Black well and truly out of commission. He may be pushing that into play with this shot. Yeah, beautifully played, really well controlled. Didn't overhit that, knew exactly what was happening to the pack of reds, and now it really is a good scoring chance.
It was actually an excellent shot on the yellow, considering he's so close to the yellow, to leave it there in the perfect position. He more or less just had to pot the red and to develop them.
Yeah. Yeah, another nice little shot there. Just a trace of side, just to get it away from the black and reds. Again,
He's had a couple of good pots. He's put himself in a great position. Important part of the match. If you can make a nice break. 64 break in the last, but if you could make a break and win this frame more or less in one visit to take the lead, that would help his belief and also put Ding under a little bit of pressure. He's done the hard work. He has the balls in position. It's just a question of good cue ball control and keeping his concentration.
19.
Just taking the chance here to free up the black area completely, give himself more room to manoeuvre. The two reds beneath the black were problem balls, really. Trying to get them out of the way as quickly as possible to give him full access.
27.
Just needs to be mindful over these next few positional shots.
28.
Just paving the way to a frame-winning opportunity.
$35. 36.
And again, played that well, went a little too far from the black, so had to dig deep into the cue ball, cutting that red back into the middle pocket. Again, very confidently played. He's a confident ball striker, isn't he, Alfie Burden?
43.
Sort of struts his way around the table, strikes the ball with a lot of authority.
44.
And these are the sort of chances he just has to convert against someone like Ding. Try and keep his foot on Ding for as long as possible, keep him in his chair. Because Ding's not playing all that well so far today. He's surrendered a couple of chances himself, which
51.
he may have taken on another day. Alfie's got to try and capitalise on that.
52. 58. 59.
Just checking the score there. 52 ahead. This black will be 59. 59 left. A little bit careless. Should have had an angle on the black to naturally pot this black and go over to the left-hand side of the table.
$66.
He's second guessing his maths ability there. 59 ahead. Been a nice break here from Alfie. A couple of good shots early on to create the opportunity. He's capitalised on it.
$73. 74.
Still the possibility of a first century break here on table one.
81. Foul. Problem. 81. Junhui 4.
With that excellent break, Alfie Burden takes the lead for the first time. He leads 3-2. When you're playing a top player like Ding Junhui, there's two tasks. The first is to try and put yourself in position to win.
请保持安静。
Requires a lot of skill and talent.
Frame
And the
6,
second part
Alfie Borden to
is
break.
when you've put yourself in position to win, can you capitalise and get over the line? It becomes more of a mental challenge. Certainly nothing really to fear for Alfie with regard to Ding's play. You feel Alfie is going to get chances to try and win this match. It's a question of can he keep his composure.
Xi'an, of course, one of the Chinese 4 great ancient capitals. And there are 4 big hitters on display in the arena this evening. Of course, Junhui here on table 1. A little score update for you as well. Judd Trump commanding 4-0 lead over Mai Hai Long. Mark Williams as well in action, currently leading Mark Davis 2-1. And John Higgins taking on Sonny Akani. Higgins leading 2-1, despite Akani making 59, 96 and 60 break. Only managed to be 2-1 down. John Higgins currently doing John Higgins things over the other side of the arena.
Surprised that 96 was enough in the frame he won.
Don't forget, you can follow all the scores from today's play and for the rest of the week over at WST.tv. WST app is available as well on Apple or Google Play or wherever you download your apps from. Make sure you keep in touch with all the action. World Snooker social media as well, following all the players throughout the week. Any PR days, any gossip to be found. Catch it all over there. Some of the guys went out to visit the Terracotta Warriors earlier, didn't they, Fergal?
Yeah, Dominic Dale, Sean Murphy and Neil Robertson were there. Yeah, Xi'an actually the second most popular tourist destination in China, obviously because of those Terracotta Warriors. A little bit of geography regarding Xi'an, located in central China, population of 9 million, steeped in history. Of course, most famous of that Terracotta Warriors, only recently discovered in 1974. And again, great treat for the players being able to go and visit that. Again, one of the hidden bonuses of being a professional snooker player. Apart from getting to compete in great arenas, seeing the world and seeing places you never would have seen, meeting different people, different experiences.
Yeah, it's brilliant to see, isn't it? The World Snooker Tour, so global now, events all round the globe, and fantastic opportunity for players to go and see these sort of places, play in packed out arenas. The World Snooker Tour doing a fantastic job of taking the players to places they possibly at one stage would have only ever dreamed of. The opportunities are really quite incredible now for players. It's a great time to be a snooker player. And that's a great shot from Junhui. Tap on the table from Alfie Burden in acknowledgement of that.
It's going to be difficult here to hit a red and not leave another red on. Yeah, Ding's returned the compliment by tapping the table. An excellent shot there from Alfie. Could have easily went wrong. Another example of Alfie's good match play skills. More than competent in all departments of the game. Just throughout his career. It's just like that kind of consistency. Has never reached the semi-final of a ranking event. Very well struck from Ding. We've been critical of one or two shots he's played technically. Beautiful smooth delivery of the cue and created an opportunity.
So accurate with that one as well. Never even touched the sides, did it? Full length of the table. Fantastic pot from Ding.
5.
So he just had a little peek down at this black area. It's quite congested. There are 1 or 2 reds he can play on to try and open that black spot before he attempts to get the black back on its own spot. Would like to be straight on this red. He may just be the wrong side of straight here, though. Yeah, that's not ideal because screwing back, he's going close to the black and can't really punch the cue ball off the cushion with all those reds there. So poor shot really from Ding from the blue. Could afforded to have overrun that cue ball there.
$11.
Yeah, well struck.
$17.
You can hear the noise from the other tables in the arena. Can be a bit of a distraction. Taking just a little bit of time out just to assess the table. Try and plan his route.
$18.
Yeah, would have been anxious for a second that that red didn't block the path of the black, but it's a good shot there and it's created a good opportunity for him. Of course, the way Alfie has played the last couple of frames, it's certainly gotten Ding's attention. He'll know he can't just fudge his way over the line. He's going to have to play good snooker. Sometimes you can find in a match when one player starts playing well, the other one can be dragged along. It's certainly been a fluent match. Neither player's been at his very best, but still enjoyable and entertaining to watch.
$31.
And as much as everyone in this arena is a snooker fan, they all want to support the home player here, Ding Junhui.
32.
Gets so much support wherever he plays. He's a very popular player, Ding. But to see him up close and personal in China must be quite special.
37.
Alfie Burden so far doing a good job of just taming him. Keeping things under control to some degree, but this now a wonderful opportunity for Ding to again level things up.
45. $46.
We saw Ronnie O'Sullivan come through quite comfortably earlier, 5-0. He defeated Wang Yuchen. Didn't really have to work too hard for that win. He was presented and gifted opportunities quite often. I just wonder how that will play a part going into his next match,
52.
or maybe the game after that as well. At least here, Ding is having to work for this opportunity, and every time he gets in, he's now got to find another
53.
gear. May just set him up nicely if he can come through this game, knowing that he was able to produce the goods when he needed to, because it doesn't look like Alfie's going to roll over.
$59. $60.
Again, you can see a little anxious glare from Ding. He's just checked the score out. You can see there's 67 available. When he pots this blue, he'll only be 65 in front. So to finish the wrong side of the blue there was a really poor positional shot, it has to be said. Chose to take the black just for the points and more difficult pot. Still needs this red. Doesn't need to do too much with it. Nicely done.
68. $74. $75.
It's an excellent red Ding got to start this break, rolled it into the top right corner.
81.
He's fully capitalised on this opportunity. Could make a 3-all, just setting it up nicely as we get towards the end. Definitely last few frames, standard of play is increased.
$88.
You won't be too bothered about missing that red on 88. Ding Junhui levels the match, 3-all.
Frame 7, Ding Junhui to break.
Ding after that lovely 88 break to make a 3-all breaks off. And now if he came across, just have a little look at the similar shot a few frames ago.
One.
Excellent pot and a little bit unfortunate.
Good shot, wasn't
But it was a good pot to be fair, but
Black ball.
no guarantee of positional play, but a bit unfortunate probably to leave himself snookered. Again, a little bit careless. It's only 7 points, not the end of the world, but possible in playing off the red to the far right. Could end up being a bit of a plant. Maybe bring the black into play. Might have been a little bit fearful of that. That's why he's rolled into them. But quite a negative shot. I thought it was worth the risk to play the shot, try and bring the white back down to balk. Certainly Ding has the initiative. Again, that's a poor shot there from Ding to catch the yellow. Now Alfie, certainly with his hand on the table, has to try and play an aggressive safety shot. Get the reds open and back himself. Well, I don't understand that at all. That's That's just a bad shot. You're playing Ding Junhui, you've got your hand on the table. You've got to be trying to force those reds open, dictate the play, and back yourself to get a good white.
Yeah, that's a bizarre one for me as well, because not only has he played a really negative shot, handed the initiative back to Ding.
Out of character, you would have thought as well for Alfie.
I mean, from touching ball there, Ding's not played a very good one, has he?
Yeah, he didn't either get the snooker or get the white tight on the cushion. Alfie looking at the possibility of making a plant.
One.
Played that well.
Alfie Borden, 1.
And that's why that safety shot a moment ago was quite strange. Alfie quite often opts to play the attacking shot. Chance to bring reds into play there and chose against it, and then takes the brown onto middle, coming down the table. Very difficult shot at that sort of pace. If Ding can get nice on the blue here from this red and get into the pack, which he has done, he's finished perfect. So into the pink, or if he's going to miss the pack, the right side would be the place to miss them. But as full as you can, plenty of backspin, keep the cue ball in the middle of the table. He's hit too well. Look at the split.
Alfie Borden, 5.
Key there is to keep the cue ball in the middle of the table and just check for no obvious plants. And you see a red found its way into that right corner pocket. A little bit unfortunate that from Ding.
Yeah, as you said, it wasn't an obvious plant. Couldn't predict that. A little bit of disturbance in the crowd. Doesn't make this shot for Alfie any easier. Having to wait. And he'll know the importance of it. It's a chance he wasn't expecting. Yeah, I think the red close to the pink spot is the shot to play. Just fully commit to it.
Yeah.
Played well, actually. Played it very well on the basis that rather than make it any more difficult and try and hold for the brown, just try to make sure you just pot the red, get down the table, chance there be any colour. Wasn't a time to try and be precise. He's a little bit fortunate to get this opportunity, I have to say, but now that he's played that excellent shot from the green, this becomes a very good chance. Seen 1 or 2 very negative safety shots, you would have to say. But if he's going to win this match, he's going to have to be aggressive. Go out and try and grab the victory.
Yeah, and he doesn't need to concern himself with that black out of commission at all. The pink is more than good enough for him to stay on. We'll look to try and clear the path for it into corner pockets as soon as possible, but for the time being, just mind your work, mind your business around this area, keep playing good shots, landing on the correct side of your object ball to make the next shot as easy as possible, just chip away at the score. This best of 9 match has become a best of 3. Can just confirm the first result in from the evening session. Judd Trump a 5-0 victory over My Hai Long. That will mean that the match between Matthew Sell and Joe O'Connor can resume. They were pulled off at 4 each earlier. What a shocking time to be pulled off at 4 apiece, a deciding frame. That
15.
Looks like it's going to go back onto table 2, so a packed house to watch the decider over there. That could be a twitchy one.
Yeah, that'll have a totally different feel to earlier on in the match, earlier on in the day. Crowds weren't as big. One of the outside tables, still did you walk out to a packed crowd. And again, nice bonus for the crowd. Everybody likes to see a deciding frame. One nice pot and one good positional play. Set him up nicely. Just losing the cue ball a little piece.
Hit 2.
Played that quite well. Didn't really have much of an angle. Had to try and power it. Actually landed short on the blue. Give himself more than enough angle to be able to pot this and go in and out of balk. But having to go in and out of balk just made it a little bit more difficult. And as a result, he's made the Cardinals in, missing the blue. And again, you don't need any words. See how he feels about that.
Oh, he's absolutely fuming with himself, isn't he? I didn't expect him to miss that playing it the way he did with check side. I fancied him missing it with running side if he was going to go the other 2 cushion way down the table. But check side, I did fancy him for that one. And Ding straight away able to flick the black into play. He couldn't have left that cue ball any worse, really, Alfie Burden, could he? He'd left the absolute perfect angle for Ding to just float that black off the cushion. And if there was any question over what this game means to the players, we just saw that in that explosive piece of emotion from Alfie Burden. Banging the table, he knew exactly what that opportunity meant to him. Put himself potentially within one of the winning line. Just started chasing his cue ball around for a few shots there and eventually became unstuck.
Nearly overcut that, just slid in off the pockets again. A couple of days' time, I'm not sure that black would have dropped. But because it didn't go into the centre of the pocket, he just lost the white. Yeah, good recovery.
17.
Again, once he's not on a colour, going to roll up behind the yellow to gain the advantage.
Yellow ball. Junhui 17.
I think Ding's head on the side of caution there, hasn't he? He would have loved to have cut off this 1 cushion escape for Alfie. It was the only place he could really land to not leave Ding anything. Didn't want to try and be too cute with that one, Ding, and risk not going far enough in behind the yellow.
I think the fact that he was tight to the cushion just made it a little bit more difficult. And a very poor safety shot there. And Alfie, the kind of shot. It's not easy, but you would expect him to pot it, swinging around and get on a ball colour.
One.
Elected to play a little bit more firmer to make sure of the pot.
Green ball.
Rolling up behind the green, but
Alfie Borden. One.
might take a couple of attempts, but I do feel that Ding will be able to roll up to the red, either red, not leave the other one on.
Five is Alfie Borden. 4.
Well, it'd be interesting to see Alfie's selection here. Maybe tempted by this red down the rail.
Yeah.
No, he isn't. He's having it replaced.
Yeah, I think the pace he would have to play to try and pot it. If he missed, it's guaranteed to leave it over the pocket and no cover. You feel Ding with this second attempt, being able to judge the pace and the spread of the table, the cushion. Expect him to hit it this time.
Does need to be careful though. Doesn't want to just glance the red and see the cue ball drift above the red. Leave the other one available down the cushion. Well, he's caught the wrong side that he intended to, but unless Alfie can get to the middle of this cue ball, it's a pretty tough pot this down the rail, and pace required to get the cue ball out.
I think Alfie was asking Ding for advice there, whether or not he should go for this tricky red. My advice would be to walk away, play a good telling safety and get control. This is very difficult. Yeah. It's just that balance. This game, earlier on in the frame, is quite negative. But certainly wasn't the time to be aggressive. The low percentage shot. And of course, if he had missed it again, he would have guaranteed to leave the red on. So, broken this frame down to mini game. Who puts this next red? Yeah, you can hear Alfie saying, great shot.
Oh no, where's the red going? Where's the red going? It's going to pull up.
I think Alfie was trying to will that red close and into the pocket.
What?
And again, absolutely no value in Ding taking anything on here. Where the
Green
red
ball.
is, can just play a telling snooker. Doesn't want to push the green safe.
Junhui. 1.
Decision for Alfie here. Does he gamble, play it with pace, try and hit the red and get distance between the two balls? Just reluctant just to roll up to the red because you kind of feel you're just going to walk and even cry help. Yeah, I think because he knows if he plays it slowly, roll up to the red, it's probably guaranteed to be snookered behind the black. So again, looking at playing just before the middle pocket, bit aside. And he'll settle for that.
Well, he certainly had some help. Some help from the snooker gods, perhaps, because what a result he's had there, Alfie Burden. That could have finished up anyway. He was in a little bit of trouble there. Had to play a big swerve round the brown. Get enough arc on the cue ball to widen the angle off the cushion. Couldn't have hoped for a better outcome. As could Ding there, really. I suppose that cue ball is pretty safe in that corner. Okay, Alfie can attempt this red if he chooses. And he has done, and he's got it. What a pot that is from Alfie Burden. Fantastic strike from in the jaws of the corner pocket. Well, if he can go on to convert this chance and win the frame, that's pot of the match for me.
Yeah, great pot, totally committed to it. I think that yellow passes the green, which will make this pink a bit easier. Yeah, come just far enough over the side of the table with being a left-hander. Perfect. As you said, that excellent long red he's got. It's given him this great chance.
And only needs the green and brown, doesn't need to concern himself with the blue.
Yeah, has been the better player, made less mistakes. Put himself in position to win. Just a question now of character and temperament to get over the line, because this will be a big win for him.
Alfie Burden, 16.
Ding coming to the table, 24 behind. Coming to the table, knowing that when he pots the blue, if he can, of course, one snooker and the pink to tie, and where the black ball is, it is in a very good position for getting snooker. He's just got to be patient and wait his opportunity to try and get that. Yeah, with that in off, Ding concedes. Alfie Burden leads 4 frames to 3.
Frame 8, Alfie Burden to break.
Yes, Ding re-enter the arena. You can hear the crowd trying to give him some support, give him a lift. You know, he's in a very dangerous position. Unusual that both players went to the toilet. Probably just signifies the importance of the frame. And again, and in an important frame. I'll be disgusted to leave such an easy red.
1.
Yeah, he'll be absolutely fuming again with himself at that break-off shot to present an early chance like that for Ding. Really, really poor, and straight away getting into the pack, and look at the gear he's got on the cue ball to get that cue ball out. I was just about to say, Ding hasn't played well at all today for me. He's made only 2 half centuries, a 58 and an 88. He's just not quite been there at the top of his game that we're so used to seeing from him. Alfie Burden has, probably by his own admission as well, not played all that well, but he's just done enough so far to warrant this 4-3 lead, but this could be about to get very tasty indeed. Great chance for Ding. The unforced errors are the killers, aren't they? Presenting an early chance. And a nice pot from Ding there.
9.
Be very frustrating for Alfie when that last good frame and to more or less gift such an opportunity.
14.
Again, chances are just coming back from toilet break, both players just settling back in. Just obviously just didn't give it its full due care and attention.
15.
Caught it too thick, and as a result brought that red up such an easy starter. So if Ding was feeling a little bit of pressure, it made it so much more comfortable for him by giving him this golden opportunity, you'd have to say now, to take it to a decider.
And an in-stroke Ding Junhui is pretty much a guaranteed 50 points minimum here for him. Well, is he on the pink? May have just crept past the pack enough. Oh, very well played. Very well struck as well. Back is firmly up against the wall. Ding. Got to produce the goods now. How we'd love to find his A game for this next frame and a half. Again, this is still a first round match. Referee Zhang Tao just making sure that pink is as close to that pack of reds in a direct line beneath its own
29.
spot without being touching.
Sorted.
Well, he's got the option here to possibly play another little cannon to the cluster of reds, knowing that he's got one to the right corner. Another free shot to bring more reds into play.
$37. $38.
Perfectly played. So one good positional shot from this brown to put Ding right back amongst them.
42. $43.
Alfie Burden would have gone to the bathroom after that previous frame, just telling himself, come on, just get yourself in, give yourself a chance to get this match done without going to a decider. The last thing he wanted to do was to give such an early opportunity to Ding off his break off. All of a sudden, plan A goes completely out the window, and he's got to regroup again.
51.
Of course, not only is Ding more or less won the frame, but
58.
regained some fluency and confidence. So he does get first chance in the decider. Far more likely to take it following on from this contribution.
59.
Standard of professional snooker these days, you just can't afford to be leaving your opponent a red from the break off. See about Ding's reaction there.
66.
Not happy. Bit of pressure on this red. Across the table. executed well, though.
67.
Just had to pot it. 67 ahead, 67 on the table. His back wraps up this frame.
Very nice from Ding. So we're going the distance here on table 1. It's going to be 4 apiece. A 1-frame shootout for a place in the second round of this
75.
inaugural Xi'an Grand Prix.
$82.
What a way to take us to a decider with a 1 visit, potentially a big century as well. Not had any tons in this match so far. The highest being an 88. Ding has now eclipsed that.
89.
If he clears the table here, there'll be some raw.
90. $96. 97.
Century number 664 for Ding Junhui. And what a time to make it.
103.
Keeping his hopes alive in this match.
104.
It's been an entertaining and fluid match. 8 frames gone, just over
102.
2 hours of play. Beautifully set up for this deciding frame.
Ball. Junhui, 120.
And with that break of 110, Ding Junhui levels the match at 4-all. Nice warm handshake between the players. Crowd getting involved.
Firm 9.
Ding to break off
Ding
this
Junhui to
9th
break.
and deciding frame. And applies in every frame, but certainly in this frame. Trying to get the first chance, and Ding has done exactly what Alfie did in the last frame. It's hard to describe how careless that is.
1.
It's bad enough to leave your opponent a red from distance. For both players to have broken off. Such an important stage of the match. Leave that simple red into the middle is just criminal. Again, he can have no excuses or complaints, Ding, if Alfie was to go on and win 1 visit like Ding did in the last frame.
And there was such a nice little corridor for that cue ball to find in that pack of reds there. You can see just above and to the right of the black, a little gap between 2 reds. If you get into them with plenty of screw back, you're going to draw another red out, and he did do. Beautifully played, took the opportunity to attack straight away. It's amazing how many times we see that red come up the table. I think it's something to do with the new cloths as well. You never really see it as the tournament goes on, but when the cloths are new, you always seem, when a player just mishits that break off, that red coming up the table, crippling to see if it's you that has just broken off, particularly
17.
as this is a deciding frame.
Yeah, at the top level of professional snooker, players are always looking for that little edge
24.
to get better. how about for starters, just don't leave your opponent a red, and certainly a simple red from your break-off. I'd love to see a statistic for the amount of frames that are lost in the pro game just from the break-off alone. I'd guess, I'd say it's around about the 10% mark.
Extended.
And there's been 2 bad examples of it in this match. Again, the bottom line is Alfie's in position. He's got the chance he wanted. Can he keep himself together?
$25.
Couldn't ask for a much better chance. Still got the simple red, another 4 reds out in the open.
32. $33.
Yeah, it should be at least 50 points to the good before he has any thoughts of getting into those reds. He will need the reds a little more open than they are. That's a pretty decent shot to just nudge another one beyond the pink, which makes it possible to right corner.
$41.
Slightly overcut that, and as a result lost the white. And as a result of that, he left the yellow
41.
more difficult than it should have been. You still fully expect him to pot it. He's such a big margin for error with the white, but the damage was done on the simple red.
请保持安静，谢谢。
After he played that red, the next colour should have been unmissable.
Never really threatened the pocket either, did it? The yellow from Alfie Burden. And worse, the fact the yellow came down the table and opened the reds up for Ding. Oh, but he's missed the black. That was very thin. What a sigh of relief. Alfie Burden, I'm sure, has just let out in the arena. When he's missed that yellow, I'm sure he'd have been fearing the worst, but the fact that Ding just potted the red thin to right middle meant he lost the cue ball a touch, made that black missable. This would be a big upset. A big win for Alfie Burden in a season where he desperately needs results.
One.
Wanted to be high on the blue, but still has enough an angle. Should be able to get in and out of balk and be on a red. But there was pressure at the start of this frame, being the cider, and those couple of mistakes from both players have just added to the pressure.
6.
46 ahead, Alfie, but still needs a few more reds. Just coming down to see, is their position? Does that red to the right of the pink, past the pink? Yeah, he'd love to be able to just pot the red screw back, leave a little angle on the blue, but looks like he's going to be screwing back towards the blue. And while the black is very close to the pocket, still on the cushion. So not that easy to get from the black and into the pack to disturb them. Yeah, you can just see that little angle. If he screws back, he'll cannon the blue. Would love to be either side of the blue.
7.
He's played that shot well. Give himself a greater margin for error. Checking the scoreboard again. This brown will put him 51 ahead. Certainly be a bonus if that red is potable to the left middle.
Needs the cue ball to run, and it has. He's got there.
11.
Now, a little angle on this red would be ideal if he could just push through the other red and potentially promote one more.
You also feel if he needed it, he ran a slightly out position. Where the black is, you feel like yellow is unmissable. Such a big pocket to be able to put it off the black. Well, that's just very careless there. Came down just to have a little look at the black.
11.
Then didn't really line up the shot properly. Just casually got down. That's a very bad miss. There's no pressure on that shot. It's 51 ahead, but
nice pot from Ding to the yellow bag. I'm still trying to work out the shot that Alfie Burden has just played there, because even had he have potted the black, it would have been a bit of a job to have landed on a red without pushing one into play. So possibly missed a trick there, Alfie Burden. Well, he did miss a trick because he's missed the red. For starters, he didn't set himself properly, as Fergal said. Well, there's a plan, and this will bring everything into play.
Right.
Crowd have been fairly subdued during the match, but they sense the importance of this visit and opportunity. They don't want their hero going
14.
out in first round. Yeah, I thought he might have left himself parallel with the black, so in potting the black he could have disturbed the red beside the pink. I suppose he'd just be grateful to be at the table. Again, from very unlike from absolutely nowhere.
22.
He's left this red missable. This will require good cueing.
Yeah, another good pot from Ding, but that red beneath the pink will not pass. He needs to flick it into play somehow, and from where he's finished, I don't think he's quite able to do that. It was the shot, 2 shots prior, that was the poor one. As Fergal said, he needed to be much lower on that black to leave a guaranteed angle. They've made a good attempt there, but the approach for me was not well thought out from Ding. He was relying a lot on good fortune there to land. He was never guaranteed. Had he played the cannon from the back black 2 shots previous, he would have had a red available. So this frame is going right to the wire. It's what we love to see, isn't it? Tense one.
30.
He has left Alfie this red. And he can play it as a shot to nothing. Just commit, get the pot, get control. He's up off it a little bit there. That's just a sure sign of the pressure. Yeah, but it was a shot to nothing, and he hasn't left it on. So Alfie in his position, 21 ahead. The yellow's fairly safe. As best he can is just try and kind of compose himself. Just play a little mini game. Try and pot the next red. Those mistakes and chances he's had, it'd be hard for him to forget those. Just adds to, if he was to get another opportunity, just adds even more pressure to that. Be a tough defeat for him to take, having had those chances.
Well, a disastrous cannon from the red to brown. Leaving this red on to left middle for Alfie. I think the way this game's gone, it deserved a decider. It's been very difficult to choose between the players. And it looks like it's going all the way. So 22 points to the good Alfie Burden. 27 with the blue, only needs the red. Doesn't need to do anything heroic with this. Just don't miss the pot.
6.
And in goes the red, and just at the wrong time there on his backswing, a little bit of noise in the arena didn't affect him. Nicely done, Alfie Burden. What a victory this is.
He just wants to make sure 32 ahead. Just drop this in. I think you need 3 snookers.
13.
Any couple of chances earlier on in this frame. Didn't make the most of them. But you have to say, this has been an excellent win for Alfie Burden.
16.
Hasn't played his very best, but he's been under pressure playing ding. Under pressure ranking-wise. A great win from him.
Alfie Burden, 16.
Yeah, disappointed crowd, but they've been very sporting. You can see Alfie acknowledging that defeat for the home favourite, Junhui, and it's Alfie Burden that goes into round 2.